Hello, and welcome to Movie Mayhem. Just finished watching a movie called Despite the Falling Snow. It's a new 2016 movie directed by Shamim Sarif. Now, name Despite the Falling Snow is awful. I had to check 5 times to remember the name of the movie to say it just for this intro. And I just finished watching the film. Obviously, I didn't choose to watch this. You ever watch a movie that fails on so many levels? And this is one of those. It's got Tywin Lannister's in it. He's a great guy. But this proves how important a director is to a film. This movie fails miserably in the direction. Even he is terrible. He's boring and lifeless. If this was the only thing I'd ever seen him in, I'd assume he couldn't act. Which goes for pretty much the entire rest of the film. So, the direction is horrendous. The script is nonsensical. It's supposed to be a spy thriller set. It's set in the Soviet era of 59 and then jumps forward to Glasnost in 91. Great concept. You could have a spy thriller there, and that's how it was marketed, as a spy thriller. However, you don't get that. You get this disjointed pseudo-love story kind of thrown in there with some other shoehorned love story stuff. Oh, it's so bad. And you have a movie, a period film. Costumes are all wrong. None of the stuff looks like the time period at all. I don't think the people making this movie have never been to Moscow, which is where the film takes place most of the time, supposedly. It's all soundstage, very obvious. Nothing looks like Moscow, nothing looks like Russia. The apartments don't look Russian. The people don't look Russian. The clothing isn't Russian. The way they interact is not Russian. It's an all-British cast, which normally could be okay, but they don't even have the mannerisms or dress of Russian. There's a great scene where they're walking in the snow, which is, again, a soundstage. And the thing is, it looks like soundstage. We're not even talking Hammer-style soundstage. This looks like cheap TV soundstage or something. She's got a nice Chuba fur coat on with a neckline cut way down here, open, in the freezing snow. Well, that's not going to happen in winter in Russia. You're just not going to do that. Nobody walks around like that. It's insanity. Then there's the Russian language. They have Russian language with tons of mistakes. Grammar, just bad grammar on tombstones, on signs. I mean, you couldn't have paid somebody just to proofread your stuff. You're making a Soviet period piece film set in Russia, and you have buckets of spelling errors? That doesn't even make any sense. So, aside from being, this is usually I can get into these kind of period films like this, but this movie just, holy God, I wanted it to be over. It's only 92 minutes, I think, in the running time, and I couldn't stop checking my phone and looking up stuff about the actors, just something to keep myself entertained. It's brutally predictable at its best and just boring as sin at its worst. There's nothing happening in it. You've got... it's not a good, bad movie either. It's just a boring, terrible piece of film. It's what you should watch if you want to learn how to never make a movie. It looks like... I can't even compare it to anything because it's just terrible. It's like if you were making a bad BBC TV show, because their TV shows are all better. I think this was funded by BBC Films in part, but I mean they don't put out stuff of this quality. I don't even understand how this is a movie where I don't comprehend how it got made. How did this person get the money to make a piece of garbage like this? And then who was producing this thing that let him make a movie set in Soviet Russia without even making it look remotely Russian? The streets don't look Russian. The only thing that looks Russian is the stock footage or this CG background they throw in there to make you think you're in Moscow. But it's obvious you're not just from looking at the street. That there's no time you could walk down the streets of Moscow and no one be on them. And the mannerisms, it's like no one had ever They don't act like Russian people at all, let alone Soviet. Nothing. Terrible. It felt like a bad 50s propaganda film, maybe. This is a story that didn't need to be set in the Soviet Union. It's at all. It could have been a mediocre British love story. There's just nothing there. Oh man, I wish I could say more besides just complaining. But I don't even know more to say. The dude from Faster with The Rock, the professional assassin guy, he was in it. I like that guy. He's pretty cool. Again, the acting is all bland. There's some awful wigs used in the movie. This is a movie I'd rate around a 1. It's one of those where it's like, this movie just sucked. There's nothing good about it. Lighting was terrible. We're talking like 80s soap opera lighting, just nice floodlights, light the whole room. No atmosphere or feeling to it at all. Cinematography, boring. Just plant the camera and shoot the scene. I don't know. I feel like I need to just talk about this just because it took away 92 minutes of my life, and I've now just stolen 6.5 minutes of yours listening to my tirade. So don't watch it. It sucked. We'll get something better coming soon, right? See you here next time in Movie Mayhem.